All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another series of online lessons. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and leave a like for this lesson. Now, today we are with Chalimbana University students. So I'm doing something for my Chalimbana University students. And basically, this is few questions in integration, and let's see how we can do question number one, and we see how we move from there. So let me just move this. All right, so here we go. So question one asks us to evaluate the following integrals. So we have the first question that asks us to evaluate 0 to 1, then from 0 to 2 of dy dx. Okay, so basically how you evaluate this integral is by grouping. So you can start with the inner part, then you go outside. So you're integrating this with respect to y. So the outer part will remain as it is. So this will be equal to integral from 0 to 1. Then the inner part, that will be y, because here the integral of 1 is basically just y, and we are putting in the limits from 0 to 2, and here we're going to have our dx. Then we put in these limits. This will basically be equal to 2. This is let me just write it here. So this would be 2 dx, then from 0 to 1. Then we can put in the limits again. So we can say this is equal to 2x, and we put in the limits. This will be from 0 to 1, and which will basically give us 2 as our final answer. So that is question 2. We can go to question 3. Let me just erase here. So that is basically how you're supposed to do question 1. Now we go to question 2b or 1b. So 1b, we are evaluating from 0 to positive infinity, and from 1 to positive infinity, dx dy. Basically here it is the same thing. So we are going to start with the inside. So we integrate the inside with respect to x. So basically integrating the inside, the outside will remain with is from 0 to infinity. And the inside, this is 1, so that will be x. And now we have the limits 1 to infinity, then dy. Now what we're going to do here is, all right, so that is basically how you are supposed to do question B. Very simple and straightforward. Now we go to question C. All right, let me see here. Question C basically asks us to evaluate the integral from 0 to 2 and from 0 to 1 of x plus y with respect to x, then with respect to y. So evaluating this integral, again, same thing. We evaluate the inside first. So evaluating the inside with respect to x, this will basically be, so the outside we have 0 to 2, and inside with respect to x, that will be x squared over 2 plus xy, and we're going to replace in the limits, which is from 0 to 1, and with respect to y. So now we plug in the upper limit here. We're going to have integral from 0 to 2. Upper limit is just basically 1 over 2 plus, we're replacing where there is x, so here that is just basically 1 times y, then with respect to y. So integrating this again, we're going to have this will be half. So basically this will be half y, then this will be y squared over 2, and now you're plugging in those limits from 0 to 2, and from here it's just plugging in. So we plug into y, so the upper limits first. So that is half times 2 plus 2 to the power 2 over 2 minus 0. When we plug 0 here, it will be 0, 0, so minus 0, so everything is 0. So this simplifies to 1 plus, this simplifies to 2, which gives us a final answer of 3. So that is how you're supposed to do question number C. So basically simple, and see you in the next lesson. So this was just a 5 minutes lesson. Then we see how we get on from there. So in the next lesson, we'll see how we can do these integrals, and we'll move on from there. Otherwise, for tonight it is good night, good night, good night, and see you in the next lesson.